position and enter into our meditation posture. Also use a mudra if you'd like. Jnana-Chin Mudra or Chin Mudra are very common. If you're in a chair like I am right now, you can sit with your feet flat to the floor, your thighs parallel to the ground, back pulled up and elongated into a balanced and erect position. Seeking balance right now, finding the position that our body holds that creates the least amount of resistance, the least amount of strain. Shoulders drop. You can consciously bring your shoulder blades together just a bit to open up the chest and the heart space. This will open up your breathing. Just a touch. Just breathe. As with any breathing practice, if you find yourself feeling discomfort, dizziness, lightheaded, immediately cease the practice and return to natural breath. We're not trying to push ourselves into a place of harm. If you find that you are having difficulty with the practice, you can modify the practice a touch. For instance, with Kapalbhati, which is successive forced exhalations and passive inhalations. If you find that this is difficult for you, you can breathe slower and put your focus and attention on the out-breath without forcing it forcefully. We'll begin. So, placing the hands palm down on the thighs and elongate the spine, pushing forward just a touch. This should be stretching the abdominal region just a bit. With the mouth closed, we'll be exhaling through our nose. We'll begin slowly, and we're going to go for a count of 30, and then resume natural breath. And it looks like this. It's a forced exhale with a passive inhale. When you breathe out with a bit of force, you can allow the body's natural impulse to breathe in. You don't have to think about it or force the in-breath. And I'll begin. That was 30. Just breathe. This time we're going to do 50. And breathe. Relax the shoulders. We'll do one more round. This time for a count of 70. And again, if you're not able to maintain this breath, I did not mention this time, I have in the past, if you are new to this, the action that's taking place is your diaphragm is being engaged quickly, and what you want is to flex or tense the abdominal muscles with each one, so you're kind of pulling your belly button into your spine. But again, if you are finding difficulty doing this, that's okay. Just breathe in and out and focus on your out-breath. Final round. facing upward. Elongate the spine and breathe naturally. We'll go right into a set of Nadi Shodhana breathing. Place yourself in Vishnu Mudra. This is the thumb extended of the right hand, the first and second finger of the right hand folded down, and the ring and small finger extended. Place the hand palm facing your face, and we're going to be alternating between closing off the right nostril with the thumb and closing off the left nostril with the third and fourth fingers. Alternately, you can also place the first and second finger on the third eye and have the same rocking action. Okay, it's your choice. I pretty much always do Vishnu Mudra just as a personal preference. There's no one is better or worse than the one that you prefer. Okay, so the action here is to close the right nostril, exhale completely from the left, inhale completely from the left, switch, closing off the left, exhaling completely from the right, inhaling to the right, and switch back. And we go back and forth. This is Nadi Shodhana breathing, this is alternate nostril. We will not be retaining the breath at the top or abstaining from the bottom. We'll just be breathing in and out as it comes, finding a rhythmic pattern. The counts of breath should be about the same. If you want to extend your exhale longer than your inhale, that's another good practice. But generally, we try to begin by keeping the counts the same. Okay, here we go. Sit up straight and begin. into your meditation posture. Let's be here for about 3 minutes. To stretch, putting the hands above the head, arms down, you can warm the palms. All right, take notice of how you feel right now. As okay, so I'm just noticing that I'm just seeing my chat here, that the sound maybe isn't so great. Good morning, Trice, by the way. Thank you for letting me know. Is anyone else noticing the sound me know. Let me know. I think that's good input. At any rate, I hope that we have that fixed now. Where the sound might be coming from. There we go. That's going to be much better. Yeah, so unfortunately, there was a reset in my settings, and I did not notice the audio was not connected to my microphone. So I apologize. But that's okay. Most of what I was saying this morning wasn't even that necessary. Beyond just giving basic instructions. We began with coming together, doing a quick body scan. Then we went into Kapalbhati, the forced exhalations and breath. And then from there into Nadi Shodhana. So if you're sticking around and you're hearing this now, that is that's the breakdown of what you may have missed in the audio. And the rest was just instructions on how to do those things. So good morning, Silas. That's funny. Yeah, it was all intentional. There we go. I'll go with that. That sounds good. It was all intentional. It's all part of the show, folks. Okay, so today's practice, today's 2 Minute Tuesday, and I thought maybe we would talk for a little bit, a very short bit, maybe 2 minutes, about mudras and why it is we do hand mudras. I'm going to share with you what I learned about the practice, and I'll share with you. Today we're gonna focus for the 2 minutes on combining a mudra with a mantra, and the one we're going to choose is a pretty classic. Now, you can see there are different ways that I'm holding my hands here, right? This is Jnana Mudra. This is Chin Mudra. Okay? It's the same hand position. And we can see thumb and forefinger touching together, lightly touching at the tip. Okay? Or curled down and under. This is a slight variation. Okay? But the purpose of these hand mudras is to create a posture of holding the hands that generates a certain type of subtle energy shift. Okay, it's very subtle. And with your fingers being the farthest extensions of the body with nerve endings, this is creating closing a slight circuit, okay, where the electrical pulses of the body can come through. And this is, again, very subtle. But we've talked about how subtle shifts and subtle changes can have a great impact, right? It's the fulcrum. It's the point from which that change occurs. At the base, it's very slight, but at the end, it's very large. So this particular mudra is a very famous, very popular mudra, probably one of the most well-known when it comes to meditation. You know, you've all seen the Buddha sitting, in serenity, calm, with the hands in Jin Mudra or Chin Mudra resting on his lap or the hand up. We've seen this. The purpose of this mudra, okay, is to bring clarity. This is one of the purports. And it's a mudra that strengthens your practice, strengthens your resolve. Okay, and it's also called the wisdom mudra. Right? It brings wisdom. So, in just taking the time to hold your body in this position, and it may be a little embarrassing if you're, afraid of how you look in public. You may be a little insecure about this, and that's okay. It's understandable. We're still working through a lot of those attachments and those issues, and it's a valid thing. But when you give yourself the time to sit and find this position, and you are working with it and breathing, and even moving into meditation and chant, I think you will find that just like the posture that we take in the beginning of our meditation, right, where we sit in a different position, placing your hands into this position is part of that. It's a part of a shift in your standard regular practice, and that shifts the perspective just a touch, right? The science behind it is a little different, and I've seen many different reports from different sources. So it's difficult for me to share with you a factual scientific study of this. However, if you are familiar with Vedic sciences and Vedic teachings, then you have a concept or a knowledge that science isn't just what we see it is today. These Vedic practices that have been passed down for a few thousand years are well documented practices. That's what these are. When we read Patanjali, we're not just reading the philosophy of one person, we're reading the reports and understandings of these practices over a long period of time with observation of the outcomes. So when these very old practices come down to us, they are not without merit. And there's a certain Western colonialism that wants to cast out any teachings or learnings that are not based in its own way of understanding the world. And that's just very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate if that's where we leave our knowledge and our grasp of information. But if we are willing to sit in this position and try it, and do this each day for a couple minutes, even for, let's say, 10 days. Give yourself 2 minutes a day sitting in meditation in Jnana-Chin Mudra for 10 days, and then sit without it and see if you notice a difference. I can tell you I do. I definitely do. So we'll take this position, okay, in the 2-minute practice today. And we're going to accompany this with the most basic and foundational and fundamental of all mantras and chants. We're just simply going to chant the Om. Okay? And doing this is sending a vibrational pattern through the body that is going to have an almost instantaneous effect of calming and relaxation. It's also going to be regulating our breath by extending our out breath for as long as we can. Right? This shift in the breathing pattern has some pretty amazing neurological effect on our body. And we're going to be engaging a part of our parasympathetic nervous system that is going to send signals and messages of relaxation. Okay? So it's not just a bunch of religious hooey. There are real practical reasons that we do these practices. And then I think you'll find that the religious hooey all of a sudden becomes a little less hooey. And we start to understand and come with a place from understanding our world in a much different way. But that's your journey, not mine. My journey is one of I do have faith. But your journey is yours, and you'll take it where you want to go. But let's give this practice a go. So we'll find our meditation posture. You can do this anywhere you are throughout the day. You can just sit straight up. And it's a very subtle hand posture to go into Jnana-Chin Mudra. Okay. The difference in up and down is subtle and slight. But one thing about holding the palms upward, sitting on your lap, is it forces the shoulders to roll back just a touch, right? The rotator cuff is now rolling towards a position that's opening the chest. And this is going to open your breathing pattern just a bit. Downward, it's not drastic, but you can experiment with yourself. Okay. So it's a real simple practice. Find your breath. I think you'll find as you settle into a practice of just chanting the Om, you'll start to sense where the vibrations are taking place in your body, right? For many of us, it's going to begin in the top of the throat, because this is where we spend a lot of our time talking from. So you can feel the vibration. If you put your hand on your neck, you can feel where the vibration is. But as you begin to get more comfortable and relaxed in the practice, you can start to feel that you can get lower and you can get the vibration down. Into the chest. See if you can get it to go lower. So you'll notice as the Om becomes more breathy in the beginning, going from a Om, Om, Om. You can feel where the vibration is. Om, it's way up here. Om. Then it gets a little more breathy, and you can go into the throat. Om, Om. But as you really give some breath into it, and you're pushing from the diaphragm, right? Bringing that Om from as low in your body as you can, all the way down where you can feel it in the root of your body, like right in the pelvic floor where it begins. It gets down there. So we want to be pushing this Om. We can move it through our body, the vibrations, and there's Kundalini practice will move through the vibrations of each of the 7 chakras of the trunk, right? The 7 main chakras of the trunk. And it's got its own chants for each chakra. Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, Om, Aum. Right? We'll get into that another day. But you can feel when you start getting breathy with it. You can feel it vibrate in your chest. Notice the difference that it has on the body at any time. Okay? And notice where you begin and what your emotional state is. Oftentimes, if I'm tense, or if I'm just sitting down to start practicing and I haven't quite gotten the day out of me yet, right? Whatever I'm going through in that moment, then I'll begin way up in the top. You can feel it in your nose. And that sends the vibrations and the sound into the upper part of the sinuses and the head, and you might begin to feel your breathing open up a bit by beginning there. And as you find yourself getting settled into space, the space you're in, you can intentionally bring the tone lower, bringing the vibration down the body. And this is where it gets really amazing. Take time to chant the Om with the different parts of the body and just take note of how it feels. You could even jot it down. I keep little notebooks around on my desk where I practice, and this notebook usually lives in my bag or comes with me wherever I'm going, right? And it allows me to keep notes so that I can have a more scientific study of my own body and my own practice, right? But whatever it is you do, notice this time that you're taking out of your day, even if it's 2 minutes, sitting in Chin Mudra, finding relaxation and chanting the Om. If this can become a regular practice, where you have some sense of incorporating this into your everyday life, I think that you will find a great amount of shift. I really do. And being able to notice that even the smallest of things like that, taking 2 minutes for yourself to participate in this ancient practice, if anything, it's 2 minutes that you're grounding yourself, that you're taking for yourself for self-care, that you're allowing your brain to calm down, your thoughts to go silent behind the Om, and just to give yourself that time to breathe. Even that's good enough, isn't it? But being able to reap the benefits of this ancient practice anytime, that's something that's on a whole nother level, right? So, okay, well, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. I spent an hour talking about a 2-minute practice. Go figure. But maybe, we'll just open up this this chat for just a moment. And you can put into the chat, if you'd like, your experience with chanting the Om. The first time you did it, did you notice a shift or a change? Is this a practice you have regularly? Is this something that you've never done because you think it sounds silly, or you didn't want to appear to be faking it? This is what is these days is being called imposter syndrome, to feel like, well, I can't do that because I'm not actually a Buddhist, I'm not actually a monk, or I'm not actually Hindu, or whatever it is, whatever thing it is that you're telling yourself that's keeping you from digging into these very human practices. Right? What is it? So if you want, for a moment, we'll leave the comments open, and you can let us know where it is that this Om lands in your body. How does it help you? Does it help you? Did you try it for years and find that it never brought anything different? Rather, you prefer whistling, you prefer singing a Beatles song, whatever it may be. Perhaps at some point I will bring in some of the studies. Now, on the website, I'm going to have a whole section for Western scientific studies of brain mapping and all of that. That'll be a whole section on the website, because I think it's just extremely interesting. Is a weak word for it, but I think it's amazing that we can look at these practices that have existed before any of our modern equipment and ways of studying in the material world, and we can see that the science is just now catching up to understanding what these practices have to offer. So I'll have all of that listed on there. Maybe one of these mornings we'll talk just about what's happening on a biological and physiological level when we participate in things like meditation, mindfulness, chanting, mudras, all of it. Okay, well, I opened the chat for a little bit. Nobody seems to want to share, and that's totally fine. Thanks for joining me today on this Journey Home meditation. The music today that guided us through much of our practice was Jane Venter, from her track The Journey and the Meeting, from the album Soul Connection. So you can find Jane on all the social medias, so send her a message, send her a bit of gratitude if you want, or follow her, find her music. It's amazing. She offers really phenomenal playlists on YouTube and on Spotify that are really helpful, especially if you're developing a yoga practice of any sort, whether it's meditation or asanas or even just doing some karma yoga or bhakti yoga. Riding around, you can sing along with her. It's really helpful. So thank you, Jane, for that offering, and thank you all. Yeah, we have a new Facebook group that's just forming. So look up Journey Home Sangha. And the purpose of the group is to create an interactive space with a supportive community of people participating in meditative practices. So it's not just based on what we do here in these morning sessions at all. Yeah, so make sure that you check that out and join if you'd like to join, and communicate, reach out, maybe make some connections with some other folks, and we'll be able to share information there. But I think that's all I got this morning, so thanks so much. I'm going to put my hands together in the recognized position of gratitude and prayer. And my gratitude right now is for the simple practices that keep me excited about life. And it's these simple practices that give me an ever-forming sense of wonder and joy, and I'm grateful for that. And my prayer today is Loka Samastaha Sukhinoho Bhavantu. May all beings be liberated. Okay. Be well, everyone.